Hello. Do we see people joining? Hi. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on where you are coming from and joining us today. Welcome to today's Oxford online experience session. My name is Toby, and I will be your host for today. We are delighted to have you with us as we exploring the three highly popular AI programs from Saïd Oxford. So today's session is designed to help you understand not only what each program covers, but also which one might be the best fit for your goals. By the end of today's webinar, I hope you will have a clear idea of the learning journey, the value of Oxford online experience, and the next steps if you would like to enroll. So, okay. Before we begin, just a few quick housekeeping notes. Please feel free to use the Q&A box throughout the session. We will do our best to answer as many questions as possible, either during the session or towards the end. And this main room session is recorded, but not the breakout sessions. So I'd like to encourage you to stay engaged and take notes where useful later in the breakout rooms. And yes, we will have three breakout rooms to join, so you will have the opportunity to hear more about the chosen program and ask more tailored questions. And please make sure you join the breakout room through the Zoom app, so that would be better for you to join the breakout session. And we have three breakout rooms for each for the programs. Firstly, I will give you a brief overview of the Oxford online experience and what makes these programs distinctive. Then we will look at the three programs in our AI portfolio and how they differ from each other. After that, you will join a breakout room, as I mentioned, focused on the program that feels most relevant to you. Those breakout sessions will be led by our head tutors, Peter, Davey, and Cyrus. And for the AI ethics program, we will also have our Illumini Brandon joining you. Finally, we will return to this main room for the next steps and also the final Q&As. Before we join before we go into the programs, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on the institution behind them. These programs come from Saïd Oxford, one of the leading business schools in the world. Oxford bridges together rigorous academic thinking, global business insights, and a diverse international learning community. I just want to pause on these numbers on the screen quickly because they give you a sense of the scale of the Oxford Saïd online community. We now have over 50,000 alumni globally. So when you join in one of these programs, you are not only sign up for a course, you are joining a much bigger global network. We have participants from more than 200 countries and territories, which makes the experience really international. And this is especially very valuable for AI, right? Because people are approaching it from very different backgrounds. And finally, you will see the over 90% pass rate here. So yes, the programs are rigorous, but they are also very, very well supported. You will have structure, guidance, and the learning team around you to help you stay on track. So at this point, I'd like you to start thinking about which program feels most relevant to you, and you could let us know in the chat box. As we mentioned, there are three programs for today. The first one is AI ethics, compliance, and the regulation. This is ideal for you if you are interested in AI governance, risk, policy, regulation, compliance, and the responsible innovation. The second one is leading AI implementation. This one is designed for leaders and professionals who need to move from AI strategy to execution and how to identify the opportunities, manage the implementation, and lead change in an organization. So this is the right program for you. The third one is generative and agentic AI. This is focused on the practical use of generative and agentic AI tools and how these technologies can be applied in real business cases. And you may already know which one is right for you, or you may still be deciding between two or three. That's exactly what today's session is here to help with. So, move to Oxford online experience. Rather than me just talking through what the online experience includes, I'd love to bring our Illuminate Brandon from AISX program last year. Brandon, you've been through the program yourself, so would be great to hear what this looked like in real life. And could you please let us know how did the Oxford online experience actually feel in practice?
Yeah, definitely. So, thanks for that, Toby. So I think ultimately for my and hi, nice to meet. Good morning, afternoon, good evening, everyone. But yeah, so essentially, so for my experiences, so ultimately, I found it to be quite practical. It's one of those ones where I'd imagine a lot of people here, you might be working, you might be a student, you might be doing some, working on projects part time yourselves, right? But then it was actually really quite manageable. It was one of those things where even though I'm working full time, it's one of those things that it still gave me that sort of little extra bit to study to, which was quite new, which was quite interesting to continue to work with my overall work on a day to day, and that really sort of attests to the flexibility of the course ultimately, being able to work around typically in the evenings and the weekends, but then at the same time not feeling necessarily overwhelmed. I was going to say what sort of really stood out to me was the combination of it being quite self-paced learning as well as the live sessions. So what you would find, particularly with the Oxford AI ethical session, is that you've got your live sessions where you could interact with
Yeah.
your tutors, you could interact with your team, you could interact with people that you're sort of working with, which that again helps a lot, right? It sort of brings it alive, it brings it to fruition, which was really good. But yeah, also, to which I think the tutors were super highly knowledgeable and approachable. Wasn't scared to get in touch with anyone at all. Found the support from both, the faculty and the cohorts to be absolutely phenomenal, absolutely amazing. And yeah, it's one of those things where I think it sort of really helped me understand more so around AI governance. Obviously, you've got AI governance as a concept, but then trying to actually apply it into practice, right? So that could be another thing, but it's able to help really break down those sort of those sort of bits and bobs there. But I think ultimately, sort of to summarize, I think also one of the ideas and frameworks explored sort of helped when it came to that practicality, as I mentioned earlier, but also helped me sort of develop like an AI tool which helped with that. But yeah, I think ultimately sort of found it a really great experience, academically rigorous, extremely practical, and yeah, super achievable alongside a full-time career. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Brandon. That's really helpful. And I think that's what you've highlighted is exactly what this slide is trying to show. And yes, the program is flexible and 100% online, but it's not something you have to go through by yourself. There is structure, there is tutor support, as Brandon mentioned, and there is success advisor support. There are live sessions, and there are a community around you throughout the program. And I will just very briefly touch on touch on what the learning portal looks like in practice. So this is where you access your weekly contents, including the lecture videos, reading materials, activities, and also weekly assessments. Everything is organized by unit, so it's quite easy to see where you are in the program and what you need to complete for that week. And you will also notice that it's not just a library of content. It's a portal guides you through the journey step by step and with a clear structure and progress tracking so you can manage it alongside with your full-time job or like part-time job. Yeah. So um, that's the demonstration. And a few benefits are worth mentioning here. Participants who complete the program receive an official certificate from Saïd Oxford. And the AISX program is also designed to support CPD, continuing professional development, which gives you about 20 learning hours credits. Overall, this is an opportunity to demonstrate to your employer, your clients, or professional network that you are taking AI seriously. So another important benefit is the community, of course, as we mentioned. Completing an Oxford online program is not simply about finishing a course. It's about joining a global network. You will engage with professionals from different sectors, functions, and geographies. Many of our participants value the opportunity to step outside of their day-to-day environment and learn alongside others who are facing similar challenges. So in a moment, we will move into breakout rooms. So remember, we have three rooms for this those who interested in AI ethics. Please join AI ethics breakout room with Peter and Brandon. For those interested in generative and agentic AI, please join David. If you are interested in leading AI implementation, please join Cyrus. And I would like to encourage you to ask questions relevant to these programs. We will spend about 30 minutes in the breakout rooms, and then we will take you back to the main room here for the final Q&A if you have any other questions you want to discuss. Okay. Hello. Welcome back.
I
Let me switch to the main room slide.
We've been staring at a blank screen for half an hour.
Sorry, Sharon. And so now is the opportunity we can answer your questions. So
Oh,
we
because we thought that you were going to stay here to answer us that were in the room to answer our questions.
Sorry, I was yeah, I've been moved to another room. Sorry about that because I need to support about the slides. Yeah, okay. So we can answer your questions right now. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so I think Sharon, just now you had the questions to compare leading AI implementation and the generative and agentic AI, right? So yes, I can maybe ask David and Cyrus to answer your questions, if that's okay.
Yeah, I think other people had questions as well.
Yeah, okay. So. Yes, share. David and Cyrus, Sharon just asked about the difference between these two programs, and I touch a base on the differences between these two programs. And could you please maybe tell more about like how these two programs will like look like?
Sure. I mean, I can start and then
Yeah,
yeah, please do
thank you.
build. And maybe I'll talk to all three very quickly. So the AI ethics one really takes more of a kind of regulation piece. So it looks at the different AI regulations that are coming out, across Europe, UK, China, US is really some of the the big things. And realistically speaking, the three kind of big regulatory drivers from what we're seeing at the moment will be the EU, the US, and China. And then other markets will sort of converge around those. Um, and that's what the focus of the kind of ethics and compliance one is and governance. And what does that mean for organizations of different sizes, different industries, and so forth. Um, the uh, yeah, and kind of ethical implementation more broadly. Leading AI implementation really looks at translating AI strategy that should be aligned to a business strategy to activation. So it tries to be quite a practical view of identifying a pilot and thinking about how you activate your organization, how you activate your stakeholders, and then how you scale that. Because a strategy doesn't mean anything unless it's executable. Um, and that's the kind of the focus there. And then the Gen and Agentic AI one is more focused on the actually like how do you build an agent? What does this look like in practice? Um, it's a bit more hands-on from a technical perspective. Not that you need to be technical, but it's more hands-on, and kind of you actually like build something. So I'd say they all give a really kind of valuable different lens to each of the kind of different components. Um, so some people do all three. There's also the AI program, which is more of a almost like a kind of 101 piece, which is something like what is AI, the different types of AI, and all that kind of stuff, which we don't go into so much in some of the others. And then you can also follow on from these with things like our kind of week-long programs, year-long diplomas, or even masters, PhDs, etc. If that's something that you're interested in following through. So certainly we would love it if people don't just sort of do the one course, but actually use this as a stepping stone into exploring more kind of continuous development and learning with the school. Hopefully that was a good enough overview.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. And for the people who stayed in the main room just now, if you have any questions you want to check with our tutors or Brandon, you could raise your hand and I can unmute you here. Okay. Amita, I can unmute you.
Hello.
Hi there. Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, Cyrus. So I have two questions. You have already explained the difference between ethic, leading AI, and Gen and agentic AI. Also, on top of that, there is a program which is more like a 5 month program. What that program is all about on top of that?
Do you know which one that is?
Yes,
Sorry.
I'm just finding a link for you as we speak. um, because last night, literally, I was searching and deciding which one shall I take on. So, one sec, I'll just let you know. It's, I think, 6,000 something plus that program is. It's related to AI, obviously.
Yeah.
Uh, it's called, now I can see it, AI Driven Business Transformation Executive Program.
Okay, Amita, I think I can cover this part. So we do have lots of collaborated programs with other edtech partners. So today's session is mainly focused on our in-house programs, which are three programs: leading AI implementation, AI ethics, and the generative and agentic AI. So if you have questions about our partner program, maybe later I can leave you my email and I can just give you more information about the partner
Um,
programs. Yeah.
okay. No, it's, I mean, it's on your main website. That's what
Yes,
I,
we do have other partner programs on our website as well. So yeah,
okay,
because
okay.
yeah,
All
we
right.
design the programs ourselves and
Right.
we collaborate with the platforms to have the operational delivery through
Okay.
the partners. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me reframe my question then.
Yeah.
I'm currently working as a program manager in an IT company, and I do have a good understanding of how AI works. So, out of these three programs, what do you suggest would be more beneficial for me? Like, I understand this Gen and Agentic AI is like 4 week program, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
4 week plus an orientation, which is the same as the AI implementation one.
Right, 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 right. I mean, that's the question because I'm a bit confused. I found Gen an agentic program might add some value, but I am looking for your some guidance, thought process here as well before I enroll.
I would say that Gen AI is the most technical of the three, but it's not super technical. It's very much business focused. And by the end of the course, you'll actually, the last assignment is about implementing a agentic AI solution into your business use case, which is hugely practical, right, and quite valuable. So, but
Yeah.
it does lead you through, handhold you to the point where you're actually able to deploy an agentic AI solution real into a real use case.
I think I'd
Okay.
probably say is if you are already technical, then you probably want to do something more business focused. That is about
Yeah.
there's maybe the AI implementation one. If you're already kind of like leading AI programs and you've sort of done that and you're trying to get a little bit more understanding of how to build and more to that technical side, then maybe the
Mhm.
agentic one. But I think a lot of people do both as well, frankly, which I understand not everyone
What is
may
the
be able
second
to.
one? What is the second one you are recommending, Cyrus?
The AI implementation one.
Mm.
AI implementation work. No, I do have understanding. In our organization, we are just trying to introduce some AI stuff, so it's quite new in our organization. That's why I want you hands-on first
Yeah.
to understand how does it work.
Mm.
Okay, all right, got it. And the obviously I can't do in June, but the next date you have in December sometime for genetic and agenting AI, correct?
I think it
That's
might be September, October.
September.
Correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong, but
yeah, I think so too. But Toby might have a
I
better
think
overview.
September is the one after
Okay,
July.
yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
And do we have any on-site classes as well? Because I'm quite local and based in Oxford itself, or everything is remotely.
Yeah, we do have on-campus programs, but that's not the content we'll cover today. But after this session, if you have any questions about our on-campus programs, I can share more information with you. So we have another team to cover that.
I
Yeah,
think just one quick build, maybe
yeah.
if you're saying if there's an in-person component to these programs. So
That's my question
yeah,
was.
so
Yeah.
the short answer is not officially.
Mhm.
So we have like because it's a global cohort. The whole thing is virtual. Having said that, a lot of cohorts do self-organize in-person meetups and local sessions, which have also been really well attended and actually really popular. I'd also say that I think it's every 2 years, the school organizes an alumni conference, which brings together all the kind of completers from all the different courses across the world for a sort of 2 day conference with sort of learning, networking, dinner, etc. That's also a good opportunity. But the core of the course is virtual.
Okay. And if somebody is stuck or something, how we are going to get clarification on that one?
So this is true for all the courses. Firstly, you have your weekly tutorials, and secondly, you will have access to a kind of tool called Prompto, which is how we discuss and kind of converse with each other. So you can either, first thing we should be about learning from each other. So, ask in public, and we have a lot of questions that kind of ping back and forth. If you've got a very specific thing that you want to ask one of the tutors, you can also DM us on the platform as well.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Amita. And I think we have 3 minutes left, and we still have two people waiting for asking questions. So shall we move to Jaya? Jaya, can you talk to us?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
great. Yes.
Okay. Hi. Now, Amita is on one side, but I'm on the flip side. Okay. So, my primary interest is in AI governance, but I don't have a very strong technical background, and I like to better understand what's happening behind the scenes. So, would this course help me with that, or are there any other courses that would combine AI governance with an like executive level understanding of how large language models work, including practical use cases and real world applications?
Maybe I can take that one. There is a 6-week AI course offered through Side Business School and to you. In terms of the three courses we're discussing today here, offered
Hmm.
solely through Oxford, I think the generative and agentic AI course would suit your needs perfectly there, because it's a nice high-level introduction to how these AI systems work, but much more from a business focus and a technological focus. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So instead of taking the AI governance course, you would recommend me to go to the Gen and Agentic AI course. But
It,
I think you just, I don't know, someone else said that it's more hands-on and you would be developing
uh,
things. So would that
Yeah,
be
the final assignment in a generative and agentic AI course is actually building a business case. So it's hands-on in that respect, but it's not hands-on in
okay?
terms of its program agentic AI system. So that's not the point of these business school courses, actually.
Okay.
If you want a slightly more deep dive, maybe the 6-week AI overview course would also serve that purpose. But if you just want a short 3-week intro or 4-week, I would suggest the generative and agentic AI. Secondly, maybe the AI implementation leading AI implementation course, which is a higher level kind of business focus implementation of the technology course. And then the ethics and AI regulation course is purely about governance. It's nothing to do with the technology.
Okay, got it. Peter, can you tell me or just send me a link for that 6 weeks course or the name if you could give it to me?
Yeah, maybe Toby can after this. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I will leave my link for the consultation booking here later. And how about one last question, and we'll wrap up this session. So I saw Simon. Can you talk to us now?
Hello, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, Toby. Yeah, my question, I've actually got two questions. The first one has kind of been answered in the chat, and it's about discounts. So I noticed you got a summer 15 discount for 15%. I was just wondering if I've been on another course already, alumni, do I get a greater discount for having already been on a course?
So our standardized offer for now is 15%, unfortunately. But if you have any other questions or like you want to discuss with me, I can leave my consultation booking link here, so maybe we can catch up after this session.
Okay, thanks, Toby.
Yeah.
And the other question I had was actually it's following up somebody's previous question about a 5-month course. I think I also saw something about a diploma course. Do you have any brief information about that? I appreciate you're not here to talk about that course particularly, but are you aware if there's a 5-month diploma course in AI?
Peter, do you know the five
Yeah.
months course?
Yeah, I think there is, Simon. It's more expensive, obviously, because it's 5 months, not 3 weeks. So yeah, it will
Yeah.
depend on your use case and your budget, to be honest. We're probably talking 10K, something like that.
Yeah, sure. Okay, thanks. That was me. Done.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so thanks everyone for participating today. And if you feel you are ready to enroll, you can start your application directly through the QR code on the screen. And if you are still deciding, I strongly encourage you to reach out to me through the link I shared just now in the chat box. You can book a consultation with me or making an inquiry to us on our website page, and we can help you compare these programs. And also, please note that now you can use the, as we mentioned, 15% discount code here, summer 15. Please remember the S should be capitalized, and you will get the 15% off at checkout. Okay, thank you very much for today. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Sharon, if you have any question, you can reach out to me on the consultation so we can discuss about
So I have to
your
book a
question.
consultation. Okay, I'll do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Toby, sorry, before you go, do you mind sharing the recording because I missed most of it because of my office meeting? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah. We will share that after this session. Yeah,
And if I
yeah.
needed something offline, I can email to you, reach out to you for.
Yes. Yeah, you can reach out to me. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye
Thank
Bye.
you,
bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
The guy.